The night before my wedding was supposed to be one of joy, anticipation, and excitement. Instead, it became the secret that would haunt me for the rest of my life. It was never planned, never something I even thought I was capable of. But in one moment of weakness, I betrayed the man I loved. I didn't go looking for Liam. But as fate would have it, he was the one who found me that night, restless and unable to sleep. My bridesmaids had all gone to bed, the celebrations winding down, but I couldn't shake the nerves buzzing through me. I wandered into the hotel bar, hoping for a few quiet moments to clear my mind. And then there he was. Liam had always been Noah's best friend, his best man, the man who had stood beside us through every milestone in our relationship. He was charming in a way that was effortless, a little reckless, but always with good intentions. I had never thought of him as anything more than Noah's friend, until that night. He sat next to me, offering me a drink. Nervous. Gave a small laugh. Is it that obvious? He shrugged, his dark eyes studying me. You look like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders. Maybe I did. Maybe it was just cold feet, the natural fear that comes before forever. But when Liam spoke, his voice steady and reassuring, I felt myself unraveling. You don't have to do this, you know. The words sent a chill down my spine. What? You don't have to marry him if you don't want to. I pulled back slightly, frowning. Liam, what are you talking about? He sighed, running a hand through his hair. I see the way you look at him, Emily. And I see the way you look when you think no one's watching. I swallowed. And how is that? Like you're scared. The words hit something deep within me, something I hadn't even acknowledged to myself. Maybe I was scared. Not of Noah, not of our love, but of the enormity of marriage, of the commitment, of the fear that I would never be enough for him, that I would disappoint him, that we would fail. Liam reached for my hand. I care about you, Emily. I should have pulled away. I should have walked out of that bar and never looked back. But I didn't. Because in that moment, with my heart in turmoil and my mind clouded with doubts, Liam felt like the only person who understood. The kiss was a mistake. The way our hands tangled in desperation, the way our bodies sought comfort in something fleeting, it was all a mistake. And yet I let it happen. We didn't make it past the hotel room door before regret started creeping in. But by then, it was too late. The next morning I married Noah. The weight of a secret. I had convinced myself that I could bury the secret. That what happened with Liam was a mistake that would never repeat itself. And telling Noah would only destroy him. So I smiled, I played the part of the devoted wife, and I hoped that with time the guilt would fade. But secrets don't stay buried. They rot, seeping into every interaction, poisoning everything. And as the weeks passed, Noah started to notice the change in me. You've been distant lately, he said one night as we lay in bed. His fingers traced idle circles on my hip, but I felt stiff beneath his touch. Is something wrong? I forced a smile. No, of course not. Just adjusting to married life, I guess. He studied me for a moment before pressing a kiss to my forehead. You know you can tell me anything, right? The guilt threatened to consume me whole. I know. Liam was still around, of course. He was Noah's best friend. How could he not be? Every time I saw him, it felt like a fresh wound reopening. We never spoke about that night, never even acknowledged it. But I could feel the weight of it between us. Then, one evening, everything changed. It was at a dinner party, hosted by one of Noah's colleagues. The house was crowded, laughter and conversation filling every room. I was trying my best to play the perfect wife when I spotted Liam across the room, talking to a woman. She was beautiful, her hand resting lightly on his arm as she laughed at something he said. I shouldn't have felt anything. But jealousy twisted in my chest like a knife. Our eyes met across the room, and I knew he saw it. That silent understanding passed between us, and I hated myself for it. Noah wrapped an arm around me then, pulling me close. You okay? Forced a nod. Yeah. But I wasn't. I was unraveling. And that night, as I lay in bed beside my husband, I realized I couldn't do this anymore. The confession. The words came out in a whisper. Noah, I need to tell you something. He turned to face me, his brow furrowing. What is it? My hands trembled as I gripped the sheets. The night before our wedding, I made a mistake. His entire body stiffened. What kind of mistake? Tears welled in my eyes. I slept with Liam. The silence that followed was suffocating. Noah's face went blank, his breathing slowing as he processed what I had just said. And then, in a voice so quiet it sent a chill down my spine, he asked, Why? I shook my head. I don't know. I was scared. I felt overwhelmed. And I made the worst mistake of my life. He let out a sharp, humorless laugh. A mistake. Noah, please. How long were you planning on keeping this from me? His voice was eerily calm, but the anger in his eyes was unmistakable. I swallowed hard. Forever. He exhaled sharply, running a hand through his hair. I can't do this. Noah. He stood up, grabbing his keys. I need to go. And just like that, he walked out the door, leaving me alone with the wreckage of my choices. Days passed. Then a week. Noah didn't come home. When he finally responded to my messages, it was just one line. I need time. I didn't know what that meant. Time to heal. Time to figure out if he could ever forgive me. Then one night there was a knock at the door. Noah. He looked exhausted, broken. But he stepped inside, his eyes meeting mine with an intensity that made my chest ache. I need to ask you something, he said. Do you love him? I didn't hesitate. No. I love you. He let out a breath. Then why did you do it? I swallowed hard. Because I was scared of forever. And then I ruined it. Silence stretched between us before he finally said, I don't know if I can forgive you. Tears streamed down my face. I know. But I don't know if I can walk away either. A flicker of hope stirred in my chest. What do we do? Noah exhaled. We take it one day at a time. And maybe, just maybe, we could find our way back to each other.